Abu Sufyan was traveling from Syria to Mecca with a caravan carrying 500 gold coins and all kinds of merchandise. But on the way, a serious problem arose. To reach Mecca, he had to pass near Medina, and the Muslims there were ready to intercept the caravan. Abu Sufyan thought to himself, wait a moment, how could Muslims loot a caravan, and that too in the month of Ramadan? In reality, 1 year before the Battle of Badr, when the Muslims migrated from Mecca to Medina, they had taken nothing with them except the clothes they were wearing. The people of Mecca had sold their belongings to provoke and punish them. This caravan now carried much of the wealth that had originally been taken from the Muslims of Mecca. So the Muslims were not looting, it was simply justice, reclaiming what had been stolen. Abu Sufyan, anxious and tense, diverted his caravan from the main road, avoiding the Muslim army, and sent an urgent message to Mecca asking for help. When the messenger reached Mecca, he cut the ears and nose of his camel, tore his clothes, and screamed for assistance, a customary emergency signal of the time. Meanwhile, the Muslim army had already set out. Abu Jahl, hearing of their numbers, grew confident, gathering 1,000 men and 100 horses, planning to confront them. But the caravan escaped safely, and the battle became inevitable. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, ordered the Muslims to camp near the first well at Badr. Consultation and strategic thinking led them to a better location with more water and tactical advantage. That night, the Muslim army moved quietly, positioning themselves perfectly for the coming battle. The next day, Abu Jahl's army, 3 times larger than the Muslims, appeared. Utbah, a wealthy Meccan businessman, challenged the Muslims, claiming they wanted to punish their own people who had rebelled. Hazrat Hamza, Hazrat Ubaidah, and 24-year-old Ali, may Allah be pleased with them, stepped forward, and the fierce fight began. Despite their small numbers, the Muslims stood firm. For every 1 Muslim, 5 disbelievers began to fall. The enemy army retreated, confused and panicked. The Muslims rearranged their ranks, brought fresh fighters, and counterattacked. Soon the disbelievers fled in every direction. Abu Jahl was killed. Back in Mecca, disbelief and shock spread. The Quraysh had been undefeated for decades, yet a small Muslim force of just 313 men had triumphed. Arabia began to see Muhammad not as weak, but as a brilliant military leader and a commanding figure. When the Muslims returned to Medina with the news of victory, there was celebration everywhere. Yet the Prophet learned of the passing of his beloved daughter Ruqayyah. Despite his grief, he allowed the celebrations to continue, keeping his sorrow private. But the story was far from over. Abu Sufyan began preparing a large army of 3,000 men, determined to seek revenge. The stage was set for the next chapter in the struggle between the Muslims and the Quraysh.